Sunshine FM, Becky Nethery there with her brand new single, Spread a Little Love Around. We'll be catching up with Becky next week, I think. I'm not quite sure, but we are catching up with someone this week.
We certainly are. And someone said to me one day, how come Jasper Shelton Hollis sings with an American accent? So I thought, let's get him on and find out why Jasper Shelton Hollis sings with an American accent. Welcome, Jasper.
Hey, how y'all doing?
There it is. Mate, congratulations on the new song. Jasper's painted me down he's painted a picture of being right down in the deep south of America, sipping on some moonshine. So good on you.
I'll take that sort of compliment there and run with it. I appreciate that. That's what we're trying to do.
Have you ever done that?
Moonshine?
Sipped on a bit of moonshine? Yeah, no, well, a bit of both.
Not anything illegal, but no, I've drank my fair share of shine before, yes.
One of the things I really wanted to talk to you about was the whole sound of the song. It's got that bluesy, some people call it the swamp sound. Is that what you had the vision when you got this song?
Yeah, a little bit. I think initially I kind of wanted it to feel a little bit adventurous, and it needed to match the title, Down the River in the mighty Mississippi. It needed to feel a little bit like you're kind of floating along, and a little bit kind of bookended with the fiddle there, sort of a haunting idea, because it is kind of a deep song actually. I mean, we wrap it in a fun way because it's ultimately about moving on and looking towards the future and floating down the river with your love. But yeah, I think so. I think we were just trying to find the right groove, and luckily we had some just masterful musicians. Joshua Grange, he did all the guitars, Jerry Rowe on drums, Lex Price on bass, which that bass part in that song is so fun. And Aaron Till out of Nashville did the fiddle work. So, and then Greta's singing background vocals. Greta Zillers. I'm sure y'all are familiar with her.
We sure are. Yeah, well, the whole thing sort of blends together, and it's funny because I've listened to the EP. It's in my car, and I keep sort of playing all the time because I do love Trying to Pray.
Oh, thank you.
And I'll really pump that one up there, and I sort of go, okay, so I actually skip a bit, and I'll do Down the River first. Then once I've been down that river, okay, now it's time to pray. So I sort of get that thing going because it does seem to flow along quite nicely. The whole EP does seem to roll into one another, but enough that it is apart. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, well, it sort of was an accident. We wrote Trying to Pray first. That's actually my favorite track of the three. It feels very much a very much me type of song, regardless of its gospel element or not. It's just something about it. It was the easiest for me to get into. Yeah, we did that one first. Lola and I wrote that song first back in April 2014, I think. And then she had this idea about the Devil's Garden, and that one sort of came together over a couple months, but we did River last. And when we I had the idea for Down the River and a little bit of a start going, and we just kind of saw this sort of story in a way. If you jump into it as a character, you kind of see the sort of three-part story, and that was sort of by accident, but we kind of ran with it because it felt right, and gave me something to really talk about when performing as well, and it allowed me to kind of just wear that hat a little bit, traveling through the Devil's Garden and trying to pray, and then heading on down the river and moving on with life.
And it does have a nice flow to the whole EP. So, okay, so we've just released the last one out there now, Down the River. Tell us what's next.
Well, I'm actually in the middle of trying to narrow down songs. I'm planning on a 7-8 track kind of album, a shorter album, and I plan on recording that in November or December back home in Nashville. Yeah. We're going home for a few months, so I plan on doing that. I think I've got the songs ready to go. You always want to keep writing to make sure it's the exact project you're ready to do. Or ready to go with. 2 or 3 or 100%. Now, I think I have my singles already ready.
Right.
I'm really chomping at the bit for 1 or 2 of them in particular to get down, because it's going to be very much down this vibe of what we've done with this project. Maybe amped up a little bit more. I think next level. I'm hoping to do a little bit better vocally and all these kind of things as you keep trying to get better and practice your craft. So I'm very, very excited though. But yeah, sort of a short list album there, 7-8 track.
Well, I know I'm excited because I've watched the main feature and now I'm ready for the sequel. That's how it feels like.
Cool. Well, that's good enough for me. That'll spur me along for a while. Then if somebody's out there ready for it, that's good.
We're ready.
So when people want to find out when it's coming out, keep up with all the news on Jasper Shelton Hollis, where do they do it?
Yeah, I think the best place is probably Twitter with me. Of course, I've got a Facebook page. It's all Jasper Hollis or Jasper Shelton Hollis. Of course, JasperHollis.com is a great place to go and find those social media links. I'm fairly active on Instagram as well. But yeah, I'll start kind of teasing things and maybe getting people involved a little bit. Might do a little bit of a small crowdfunding campaign to just try to get some T-shirts going and that kind of thing when the album does come out. I'm not fully decided if I've done that or if I have the fan base to warrant that just yet. But
we'll soon find out.
Yeah, I'll find out. But but all jokes aside, yeah, I'm very excited about it. But yeah, so I love keeping in touch with everybody. It's great, good fun.
Well, we look forward to hearing your music and sharing it with our listeners when it comes out later on in the year or early next year. Until then, we're going to take a nice cruisy trip down the river.
Oh, great. Thanks, guys.